Many blessings, everyone. Welcome to this week's offering, and we're going to start standing. We've got a lovely end of session lie down, but I'm going to do a little bit of just moving into the body and feeling connected up with your body and with movement. And we're talking a lot about grounding in the sessions, and so sometimes we ground when we're sitting down, and sometimes when we're standing up. So come into kind of just a comfortable standing shape, and just a reminder, crew, that if you've come from an Iyengar background, he taught us to stand with our feet kind of really close together, touching. And that doesn't work for very many body shapes at all. And so when we stand, find a stance that feels comfortable and grounded. So grounding is a lot about balance, physical balance, feeling like we're on a centre line and we're gathering ourselves around that centre line. So find what's comfortable. Might be out wider, might be under hips, might be in closer. Just find that. Notice I'm moving around with my feet. So we want to connect up, and as we do that, that usual thing, crew, of look after your body. What does it need this morning or this afternoon or this evening? Like whenever you're practicing, it's going to have different needs. Listen into it, modify things as you need to, do things that feel good. And we're going to start moving into our knees, so I'm going to bend one knee and the other. As I do that, I'm going to notice that movement come right up my body. I don't just want to be moving my knees. I want to feel that shift from the energy moving from one side to the other as I move. And then I'm going to start to kind of just wriggle shoulders. So pick out some fingers. Notice your breathing. Come into that. Notice your head. What does it need to do? Does it need to move? What's your neck feel like? And then just come into Tadasana. So Tadasana traditionally either palms towards the hips or out. But what we want to do is just let our shoulders come down our spine. Find balance on your feet. So your knees are there but they're not tight. Your glutes are there but they're not tightening up too much. We're going to take a breath. We're going to find the alignment between the crown of our head and the centre of our pelvis. So where are we? Do we have a tendency to stoop? But find comfortable, don't force yourself into a Tadasana shape that doesn't suit your body. Then we're going to close our eyes or soften our gaze. Come into that centre line. Notice you breathe in, breathe out. Let that air really flow out of the body. And then inhale, bring that inhale in. And then in the next exhale, purposefully open these arms out. So open your eyes and just open the palms out. Not up too high, just enough to bring that chest open, shoulders down. And we're going to inhale, going to bring our arms up, slow. Touch fingers. Come down through that centre line and just take the tailbone back into the starter chair pose. And we don't want to have our hips pulled forward, we want to push gently back through that pelvis. Feel that lovely strength in your spine. We're going to inhale, come up, link the fingers, take them all the way up, we're exhaling right. Inhaling up. Exhaling left. And just keep that movement going. Just for a few more, just warming up the sides of the body. Bringing our awareness to the sides of the body. I'm going to go one more each side. Feeling that movement in your body. Maybe it's an awakening. Maybe it's a releasing of the day. Depends when you're practicing. Inhale, bring it up to centre. Bring those hands back down into that starter chair pose. Let's bring our arms around behind us, link the fingers, tuck the chin right down to the base of the throat, bring those shoulder blades down. Release the arms, lifting up, slow. This time we've got space between our hands, as if we're holding on to something. So when we reach left and exhale, just a little bit of a different sensation. Just a little bit more work for the body. Slowly moving from side to side with the breath. Bringing it to center. Bring those arms down that center line. Through that chair pose, this time adding a forward fold. So we're going to bring our belly onto our thighs and then lift our hips, let the head drop. You might need to climb your hands up your legs if they're a bit tight. Breathing it out. Sinking through the hips, maybe a little bit deeper now we're warming up, and into chair pose. So arms come up, find the breath. Lifting up. Bring our hands together and then down to the back of the neck, fingers pointing down your spine. And just lift through the chest gently into your version of either just lifting the chest or the very start of a back bend, which is really a front stretch. No compression in the lower back. Make sure those glutes are there to support you, not clenched. Same with our knees. Bring it back, arms come up, down through that center line. Into a forward fold. So let the hips lift, let the head drop. Shoulders curve if you feel like it. Reach the arms around behind you, link the fingers, lift up towards the roof, really let that head go. Let the arms come down, bend into those knees again. And arms lift up, we're coming up slow, look after blood pressure team, if you're a bit that way inclined. Hands come through to that center line. Start to shift the energy over towards your left foot. Bring this right foot up. And just kind of bring that knee up and out to the side and down. Touch the toes down, up and out to the side. And down. Just a few. You're going to put breath in, inhaling up, exhaling down. Feel all that energy, that strength, and that left side holding us as we move this right leg. One more. And bring it down. Transfer that energy over to the right foot. Bring this left leg up when you're ready. And down. And down. So release into Tadasana team, just to feel what's gone on in your body from first Tadasana to now. So notice, start maybe at your feet, We'll just warm them up with that balance. Move that awareness. Oh, unless you've got an eyelash in your eye. Move that awareness up to the knees. Now up into the hips. Come up the spine. Bobber. And the shoulders and arms, sides of the body, the neck. Maybe it's easier to feel alignment now. That can be one of the things once we're starting to warm up. It's like, oh, there's my body. I couldn't necessarily feel it before. That's part of grounding, kind of coming into that awareness. Either the dials are up too high, and we turn them down, or the dials are like on low, and we're just kind of coming up so we can feel what's going on. Another breath there. Just roll shoulders down. And take our feet out wider. And so toes come off the edge of the mat. And we're going to rock just a little bit into hips. Notice my knees and tracking in line with my big toe. Not going further, so I'm not going too far. I'm just kind of swaying into the movement. Then I'm going to take my tailbone back and come to that halfway mark. And I'm going to straighten out my spine, so I'm going to lengthen it parallel with the floor. Tailbone going one way, crown of the head going the other. I don't feel nice and stable. If I want to make it stronger, I can take my elbows off my knees, okay? I want the weight slightly to the outside edge of your feet, so your knees are nice and lined up. And if we're pushing our tailbone back, we're not trying to force a bone through the front of our knee, okay? We're taking some pressure out of our knees. Breathe. Hands come down. If you're not a squat person, come into a forward fold, or just kind of work your way down. Maybe put some blocks or some pillows under your bum to give it some support. Really important asana team, malasana. Just in terms of overall, where is my body at as I get older? One of the measures is a squat for hips and knees. We never want to force it, but we want to feel like we can easily sit like this. Chairs, worst invention ever in terms of body health and alignment. So bring the hands down, lift the hips, take your feet out so they're parallel. Notice mine have come off the mat. And let the head drop. Slightly wider forward fold, so might be able to go deeper. We can always walk our hands up our shins if those hamstrings are just not today. Let that tension travel out of the spine, let the head go. You're going to bring the heels back in. Squat number 2. So down we go. Your version. So again, just being super patient. If you've never been a squat person, then it might take a long time, or you might have some health issues that mean you can't. So we're just using parts of, or the parts we can do. We're going to land team. So however, whichever way, we're going to take our hips down, bring our knees around, feet just off the floor or toes down, roll the shoulders down, bring the fingertips to the floor for some balance, lift the chest, feel that engagement in the belly, the start of boat pose. Give yourself those options. Even if you know you can do the full leg lift, hang out here, get that really deep engagement happening. Once those legs go up, we can use other muscles, we can cheat a little bit, strangely. Then, soles of the feet together, knees drop out. We're lifting up and we're leaning around the hips. Breathing. So, Baddha Konasana. So if you're sitting up straight and the knees are up around your ears, just work really, really gently into that kind of hip region, inner thighs. If your head's on the floor, just kind of bring your body forward so that you're still giving yourself that extension along the spine. What we don't want to do is curl over. have musical accompaniment in the birds today. We're going to lift back up. We're going to bring the knees back together. Roll the shoulders down. Feet come up if they can. This time, we're going to try and take our arms off the floor. Roll the shoulders down. Reach the fingers forward and lift the chest. So we're not slumping, okay? So we've got that lovely length along the spine. You know when you've had something in your eye and now it feels like you've got half the local wildlife in there? That feeling. Breathe. And then release. Bring these feet back in. And the shoulders down. So make sure we're not wearing them for earrings. This time we're going to circle. So we're coming circling around into the pelvis. They can be little circles to start with. We might warm them up and get them a bit bigger. But just see how you're feeling. Might be quite nice to just play with that range of movement. We're going to change direction and just noticing. So sometimes what happens with this is that we start a movement like this and then all of a sudden we're like off, we're going to do the shopping, we're going to work out what we're doing later. Now you've got the birds and the rain as accompaniment. So try and just be in that movement and in the immediacy, rain on the windows, you know, things like that. Back to center. Last one in these boat pose kind of sequence. We're going to bring our hands to our feet and kind of hold on to our feet. Now, this might be enough, okay? Having them on the ground and kind of leaning up and back. Some of you might be able to get your feet off the floor and keep your balance, okay? So just kind of notice what's going to feel good in the yoga sense. Roll the shoulders down, feel that sense of length and control. Notice the difference. We can also come back to the original boat pose team if this one's not on your radar. Nice deep, deep breath. Then we're going to take hold of individual feet. So we've got some space between our feet. Give them a little wriggle, make sure you're not holding on for dear life. We're going to see if we can extend our right leg up and out to the side. Bring it back in. Left leg. Up and out to the side. Just keep that, however, whichever way that movement goes for you. I should have said to make sure there's not a wall directly behind you that you could roll back and hit your head on. And just that slowness of movement. If we throw ourselves into any of these movements, what happens is we lose our balance. So we have to move slowly. We have to feel that relationship between the two legs, because as your right leg goes up, your left leg becomes the stabilizer. It's very nice range of motion. One more each side. Don't have to get straight. Don't even have to get your feet off the floor, really. And back down. Feet out wider into our diamond. Come around. Roll the shoulders down. Again, nice straight spine as we come forward. If there's some movement. Notice your breathing. Then we're lifting up and I'm going to leave our right leg where it is, okay? And just bring this left knee to there, okay? So I think sometimes we've got this foot in when we do this one. other times we haven't. If this leg won't turn like that, okay, straighten the leg out. Sound effects optional. Then we're turning around to the right and we're going over that right shoulder and we're going as far around as feels good. And then back to center and straight down. Okay, so a little bit more of a stretch into this right leg. Again, interesting variations that use the same principles as our king pigeon, as our pigeon poses, but without some of the pressure. There's a little bit more room for the body in some of these, depending on what shape we are. I'm going to wander in and just bring this left foot back so that we're back in this shape. And wriggle around, how's it feeling? And then our left leg goes that way or that way. Okay, so whichever way works for your body. We're going around to the left slowly. So looking over that left shoulder, breathing. And then coming back to center and down along that front leg, and just again just sinking into the breath. If you're losing focus, so if the day, the things, the this, the that, if they kind of have a tendency to come into the tune, so work with that breath. So really feel the process, the exhale, that little pause, the inhale, and then that pause. Just kind of move gently back to the breath each time you get distracted. And we want to be gentle. We never want to take out, go into battle with our mind. Mind's very good at winning those battles. And I feel like we kind of understand that it's busy, it's got other things, it's easily distracted sometimes. So as we come up, we're going to end up in a squatting. So for some of you, there's the pop up from the floor version, okay? For others of you, you need to come back down into a squat. So take your time, find your way here. There's another little one of those measures that they talk about in terms of, our aging infrastructure, aka our body, and that is to be able to get off the floor without using our hands. So, and that is interesting because there's some ways that you can do that that are good for the knees and some ways that are a bit interesting. We never want to favour one knee, okay? So we always want to be able to move both sides if we can. So always think about that if you're practicing that form of maintenance for your body. We're going to bring our hands down, straighten out these feet, forward fold. Might feel a little bit different now. Hopefully, maybe a millimetre or two deeper, maybe more. Let the head go, feel the breath along the spine. Then the heels come in, half squat to come out, team, so climb elbows onto thighs, tailbone goes back. Lift ourselves up slowly, bring ourselves back to Tadasana, towards the front of your mat. adjusting your back should you need to. Depending on the size of your dining room, if you're me. So, rolling shoulders down. Whew. Noticing. So, using Tadasana as our little kind of moment, just to go, how am I feeling? So soften your gaze. Come into that center line, so feel your sense of gathering yourself. And that line that starts between your feet. And moves up the body to the crown of the head. And when we think of a line, sometimes we think of a skinny, like, plumb line. More like, think like a good, strong anchor rope or mooring rope if you've been down to the wharf. It's just that sense of gathering ourselves around that, gathering our body, our awareness, our breath, our energy, plugging into the earth, down through our feet, and through the crown of our head into all that is. And then we're going to blink our eyes open, we're going to lift our arms up on an inhale. We're going to exhale, sink through that chair pose around into a forward fold, lifting the hips. And then up to that halfway mark, bring the hands up to just below the knees. Lengthen it out along the spine. Big deep breath there. And then slowly taking it down. Fingertips to the floor. You can take our right foot. Take a nice deep step back, high lunge. Back heel presses back. Make sure you've got that alignment for you. You might need to bring that left foot out to the side of the mat a little bit more. Coming up through the upper body. Sink down through the hips. Knee nice and lined up with the ankle. The shoulders drop. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up. And we'll reach through the arms and sink through the hips. Find your breath. We're going to lift the hips, straighten-ish that front leg, bring the hands slowly down and walk down that front leg. Make sure that knee's not locked, the leg's straight-ish. Let's come down to where you feel that stretch happen enough for you. Come forward, bring the hands down, we're stepping back into plank. At this point, some of you might feel like doing a frog pose, otherwise, heels are going back, crown of the head coming forward, long along the spine. A few breaths here. Up through the hips into down dog. Down through the heels, long deep breath again, just kind of letting everything stretch itself out. First down dog of this offering. Meeting on all fours. And then right foot steps forward. Find your way into that high lunge. Press back through that back heel, so get that sense of where your body is, and then bring the upper body up. Find that alignment, so sinking down, knee in line with ankle. Hold your breath, let your shoulders ease out, and then inhale up through the arms. reaching into that space at the same time as sinking down. Feel the breath moving. Lifting through the hips. Bring those hands down, so straightening ish that front leg. Walking our way down until we find the enough point for that stretch. Sinking into it. Yeah, we're going to come forward into that high lunge. We're going to turn our feet, end up wide on the mat, so wide leg forward fold, hands are down, and we're going to just fold down as deep as you want to make it, let the head drop. Come back around to that front foot. Turn onto the ball of the back foot. We're going to step forward. Into that half chair pose. So, going to set yourself up. Bring the head up higher than the heart for a few breaths. And come up slowly from there. And if it's feeling alright, up go the hands. So link the fingers, reach it up. Take the gaze up, feel that strength in your body. Come back down through that center line. Half chair, forward fold. Head drops, long deep breath. We're taking that right foot back again. Some high lunge. Right heel comes across the mat this time though. Come up straight legged. Okay, so our hips are to the side of the mat team, so our whole kind of body is around to that right side of the mat. We're going to bring our arms out from our shoulders, drop them down, our shoulder blades down. Shift your hips towards the back of the mat. Nice straight front leg. We're going to start to reach towards our triangle pose, but pause, reach that left arm forward and just find that kind of feeling in your body. How far do you want to, can we reach? We haven't even taken that left hand down yet. Then we're going to inhale, come up. Right hand back, left arm reaches up into that space. Coming forward. So again, we're reaching first. Out over that left leg. Then just let that hand come to wherever it does on that shin. And lift, right arm up. Take your gaze up to the thumb. I'm trying to stack our hips on top of each other. Stack our shoulders up so we're not in a strange kind of twist by accident. Right arm's going to go right over and down to the front of the mat. Turn onto the ball of the back foot. Bring that back knee down. Flatten that back foot. Anchor that right hand out from the body a wee bit. Turn to the left side, bring that left arm up towards the roof. And left arm sweeps over, wriggle out that left foot, frog pose, knees out to the edge of the mat, big toes together. Pulling back towards the heels and at the same time walking the arms forward. So make an active stretch if you wish. If you need to relax, just fold the arms. Otherwise we're keeping those forearms off the floor. We're walking our arms forward as we pull our hips back. And we're lifting up, we're going to bring our knees back in under us. And our left foot, oh no, we better not do that, our right foot is stepping up. Come into the high lunge, slowly. Back heel pointing back, just hang there for a breath. Then that left heel comes across the mat and we're coming up, and again hips to the side of the mat team, so don't put unnecessary twists in, especially for that SI joints. I'm going to bring these arms out wide from the shoulders, drop those shoulders down, so just feel into that. Then we're going to take our hips to the back of the mat and start to reach that right arm forward, out, and then pause, breathe for that beautiful extension in your body. Front leg relatively straight, Chris, there's quite a stretch going on. Inhale, come up slow. Left arm goes back to that left thigh, right arm lifts up. We're going to come forward again. Again, let the front leg nice and straight. Reach. And reach as far as you can before you bring that right hand down, wherever it reaches. Left arm reaches up. So we're opening right across the chest. Long, deep breath. Looking up to that left thumb. Left arm sweeps around on that big circle. We come down through that high lunge. Then we bring that left knee down. We plant this left hand just out enough to have room. Right arm sweeps back and then up into that beautiful twist. Body towards that right side of the mat. And then slowly, top arm comes down and around. Wriggle out that right foot. And either a frog pose or another down dog team. See, feel, sense what those energy levels feel like for you. Long deep breaths wherever we are. Meeting on all fours. I'm going to cat-cow pose a few times, team. So I'm going to inhale, bring the chest forward and lift a bit, and then exhale. Mid-spine lifts up towards the roof, chin tucks in. Check that back's feeling all right. One more. We're going to come around to seated. Oh. And we're going to take our legs out, nice and wide. I know some of your favourite. Some of you, this is your favourite pose, not. So we can prop under our hips, remember, especially if we're fine, we're leaning back or it's super tight. Just to give that pelvis a chance to start that process of rolling around the hips. We're aching in a circle, so we're going to start with little circles. They might stay little, especially if you're quite tight here or in those hamstrings. And start making them bigger. Try and keep your spine quite long, quite straight, so we're not curling over. Change direction, round the other way. One more, slow. And when you come up to the top, if those legs need a break, okay, we can bring them in for a moment and we'll give them a shake. Again, we don't want to make this kind of torturous. It's, you know, to lengthen the hamstrings is a long process. They're a big muscle and we're asking it to do something. If it's always been tight or it's got tight over time, you know, think about how long it's taken to get tight and then how long it might take to unravel. And, you know, what level of movement you want to get into your body. So, you know, you might have no desire to get your belly on the floor in this one, and your body might never do it anyway. It might just be being able to sit comfortably or being able to lean forward a little bit. So really kind of take out of your head the fact that any idea of what the fact is or what the ideal is or what it should look like. Okay, so where we get to is where our body gets to. That's what practice is about. So soften these knees. Might be sitting up, might be coming forward, you might have your head on the floor. Just kind of come into the pose along the spine. Most important bit, don't curl over. You know, bring that chest forward, get your whole body involved in it. Breathe, drop the shoulders. You know, if you're one of our restorative crew, grab a bolster or a cushion, pull it into your belly. Put 2 bolsters there so you can put your head on them. 3 bolsters, 4 bolsters. Breathe. And notice where is that tension, and making sure that it's not just in the attaches of the muscles, so the back of the knees and under the bum, but we are actually stretching the muscle. So as we lean into it, we want to feel the muscle stretching, not go so far that it's just pulling into tendons and ligaments. And we don't want those to be getting the stretch. We want the muscle to be doing it. shoulders, neck. Tuck the neck, the chin into the base of the throat. Get the back of the neck nice and long. And you walk the hands in. Let's bring these feet into Baddha Konasana. Monty doing a big sigh from over there. So those of you that are wondering where Monty is the last couple of weeks, I haven't had the heater on, so he hasn't been right here. He's tucked up. There's a little nook in the dining room, and he climbs up onto the nook and watches. So lifting up, stretching forward and down. If you're brand new to these, Monty is my little white dog, who is very good at giving cuddles in classes. Also very good at just sleeping and not giving cuddles. You just watch everybody come in and be like, hi, I'm over here having a snooze. So it was the ultimate example of do what feels right for your body. And if you need to sleep all the way through class, do that. So we're going to lift up from there, team. We're going to take ourselves down to the floor for the last sequence in terms of lying down on our back. So if you need to put socks on or do anything like that, or get socks nearby, do that. We're going to start with our knees drawn in towards our belly. And we're just going to roll some circles around the lower back. So we're checking in with our spine. And how our body's feeling. Change that direction, go around the other way. And then we're going to bring our feet down to the floor, knees bent. We're going to take our arms out, nice and wide from the shoulders, palm facing up. Just feel the chest opening up, wriggle the shoulders into the floor. And we're going to bring our knees back in towards the chest and scoot those feet up towards the roof. So heels pushing away, toes back towards you. Breathe into that. Bring those feet down. Lift the hips up and over to the left. Park them down. Bring the knees to the right. So we're stacking our hips and our knees up. Keeping the shoulders anchored. Head turning to the left. Slow twist. So sink into your breath. Bring the knees back up, bring the hips back to center, and then take those hips right and the knees left. Head turning right. Try and keep your knees together, crew, especially on the way up out of the pose. Otherwise we're putting some weird pressures into our lower back. Bring it back to center. Bring the hips back to center. We're going to lift our arms up towards the roof. Bring them down alongside the body. Snuggle your thumbs under your butt cheeks and bring those feet up towards the roof. Again, slight kind of different
sensation in the body. Keep the chin tucked in, the back of the neck nice and long. Then we're going to bring those feet down, soles of the feet together, knees drop out, regulate the hands, reach them up towards the roof, and then over your head, stretch them out. And then we're going to bring our right knee in towards us. We're going to reach our arms back over. Left hand can go out to the side for balance. Right hand is going to find that right foot over the top of that foot so that we can do half happy baby team. So right knee towards the floor, foot like it's running along the roof. I'm just kind of working out, can I put a bit of pressure on or am I really there to steady it? We can also hold on to the back of our thigh or our pants. Then bring that foot down, change sides, so that right arm goes out, left hand over the top of that left foot, knee towards the floor, foot like it's running along the roof. Sink into the breath. Bring that foot down, bring the arms up towards the ceiling and over your head, soles of the feet together, knees dropped out to the side. A few breaths here. And then we're going to bring both feet in. We're going to do full happy baby or your version of, so find your feet. You might need to sit up to grab hold of them. And then knees towards the floor, feet like they're going to run along that roof. Sink into it. Let the weight of your legs do most of the work. A little bit of pressure with the arms if it feels good. Then we're going to release the legs and we're coming into whatever shape you want to make for Shavasana, crew. So it might be traditional Shavasana, stretch down along the floor with your arms alongside you, palm facing up. Or you might want to wander your feet in if you have a little bit of a back that tends to be tender. Hands can be on the belly as well if we feel like that's going to be more nourishing. Make sure you're warm, though, crew. That's the most important part. This allows the body just to absorb that practice and come to the most important aspect, which is rest. From rest, we can move into meditation, or we can move into the rest of our day. But give yourself this couple of moments, find your breath, let your body relax towards the floor, let the earth hold you. Feel that connection down into the land underneath you, your stories, your story of how you came to be where you are. Nourishing each other, we hope. Goodness knows the earth needs it. Quite possibly we do too. So breathe into that nourishing idea of just rest and reciprocity with Mother Earth. check in those parts of your body that might start tightening up, your neck, your shoulders. Let them release. If your mind's wandered off, bring it gently back to the breath. Rest, softness. Let's start to just either prepare ourselves for meditation or to come out into the rest of our day. We're going to count our way through 8 slow breaths. So just bring your focus to your breath, be conscious of it as you take those 8 breaths. If you lose count, don't worry, just kind of come into focus with that breath. And then we're going to take it slow, so we're going to move our arms up towards the roof. Spread out your fingers. Open your eyes if you haven't already to your space, to your hands. Make a fist and then open them up again. Take them over your head slowly. Walk your feet up the mat if they're not already there. Anchor your toes. Give them a wriggle. We're going to turn over onto our left side and just come up slowly around to seated. And once we're in that seated shape, for those that are going on to meditate, and get yourself nice and snug for that. For those that are coming out of the day, just kind of noticing your surroundings. Maybe the colours are brighter, maybe there's something that draws your eye that's beautiful. Take that with you into the day or the evening, wherever you are, whatever your practice is. Thank you for being here, for looking after your body, for continuing to support these. Spread the love, share this. It's all good, that's what it's for. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. Bring the palms together and down slowly through centre to the heart space. Gather some of that beautiful energy to your heart. Think about bringing it into the day with you, sharing it. And many blessings around.